Good evening, everyone. Um, and welcome to a very impromptu Sunday night live draw. I have been busy doing a ton this weekend, um, so not a lot of art, so I needed to do something creative this evening, art-wise, so we went back to our trusty um, chaotic draw-along card deck, and we picked out tonight's sketches, which are going to include skinny gnome wearing glasses. So that will be our first prompt tonight. Um, so welcome. Let me get to my chats open. I am going to put the YouTube. Actually, these are in the YouTube thing channel. So I'm going to drop my YouTube link into Facebook for people who want to do both, since I didn't announce this. Let's see. There's that. All right. So we have that. And we can start drawing. When I think of a skinny gnome wearing glasses, first thing I popped into my head was kind of a hipster type gnome. So let's see. I think long shapes. I think he'll be strolling down the street, maybe. Maybe we'll get a couple of prompts in tonight. So, welcome. Hope everybody's weekend, if it is your weekend, has been good. So, I think I'll do kind of a short body. Skinny gnome. We're going to give him big feet. Let's see. Nice, confident walk. And we've got our overpriced seafoam double chocolate lavender something latte. I just made up words, so welcome to story time. And he'll be too cool for school. Little nose. Couldn't possibly be smiling, so. And we'll settle on a face shape like that. And we'll bring this down a bit. And again, magic of digital art is cheating on composition, which I warn people can get very easy to cheat with composition and get lazy with it. So this past year, I've drawn traditionally a lot more than I ever have over the last year or so. For years, anyways. I shouldn't say ever, because there was a time when none of this was digital. So I think we'll do the hat over the eyes a bit, swinging back. This definitely would have a man bun if there was no hat. Hair that way. Volume that. And I'm going to shorten his body up a bit. Even more than a confident walk, I think we will have this gnome just doing the hipster thing with the phone. So if anyone does end up watching, feel free to pop in, say hi. Let me know how your weekend was. I actually had a pretty productive one after being sick all week. It was really quite a miserable week, health-wise. Whatever I had just would not go away. And somehow, I have turned my brush erasing. I'm not sure why. Don't need brush size. Changing some menus here while I'm here. And this is just a pressure sensitivity on my eraser has gone down. And I'm not sure why. Interesting. Happened the other day. I accidentally switched the setting. I don't know how to get it back, and I'm not in the mood to find out and bore you all with me going through my settings. So again, really quick sketch lines to get this down. I wonder if I could do some kind of plaid. Got pop collar, little chest hair, this, and then this arm down. Trying not to break that silhouette. That. You would definitely have a top knot if you didn't have a hat. Looking on the phone. Skinny jeans. Little booties. Walking down the sidewalk. Too cool for school. And his name is definitely Chad. Need some water. And again, anybody who's watching for any kind of instructional purposes, line of action was the first thing came up with. That was that. And then breaking down to basic shapes. And again, trying to avoid the ladder. I'm not quite sure I did. And this, so one head here. It's pretty laddery. Might have to bring up his midsection here. Make the legs a bit longer. That way we can break up this monotony of the shape language here. And again, with the prompt being skinny, I'm using that not only in his torso type shapes, but his other language as well. Like fingers will be skinny. That arms. So keeping that prompt skinny prevalent through the entire illustration. Um, he's weighted pretty well on that back foot. Let's see. That's pretty good. Let's see. His eyes should be like that. Looking at his phone. And arm here. Cool. And his gnome hat, of course, is down here. Pop collar. Skinny jeans. All right. And now, let's see. Hey, Chris, how are you, my friend? Nope. It's just 8 o'clock. West Coast. Cool. So let's clean this up a bit. Let's see. How's your weekend been, Chris? Very jealous right now of you living in Canada. I don't want him smiling. He's just too cool for that. So, very disinterested gnome. No hair there. Oh, he's gonna have to have some tattoos too. I read the prompt for skinny gnome. All I could think of is skinny jeans and hipstery. So, oh man, mowing the lawn. Never enjoyed that. Now same here. Lots of chores. Built a big table for the outdoor workbench um, as well. So it's the first time really getting near the drawing desk all weekend, and felt good to be outside. We had a unexpectedly beautiful weekend here in Reno, and some really nice, rare rainstorms mixed in, and yeah, it was just quite wonderful to be outside and disconnected from media for a bit. So glad that you got some chores done. Yeah, the elections up there are really no less scary with the way things could go. There's a lot of this really big right wing, and I'm not talking just conservative or liberal leaning people. I mean, there's some just scary ideology out there right now. I have friends that are very conservative and still really, really good people, and liberal and conservative are not how I judge people. It's these crazy ideologies of, basically, you know, genocidal maniacs running our countries. So, yeah, scary everywhere. But doing my best to weather it and be informed and not let it run my life and help the people who need help. Oops, that is not the right button. Wow, what is squeaking? Sorry about that, everyone. I have something very squeaky. Ooh, it's my monitor. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, the extremes are what scares me. All right, so back to the pencil. Up here, change that angle a bit. I do have to admit, Chris, I'm going to feel like you've been on a lot more cruises than I have, and I need to up my cruise game. Yeah, and I agree with the unsettled thing. It's, oops, that's not what I wanted to do here. I'm always jealous of when I see you go on a cruise. I feel like there's been a few. My partner loves cruises, and we have not been on one together, and it might be time for me to bite the bullet, and I've always been a little bit apprehensive. No, I'd love to plan one soon. I've always been apprehensive of cruise being just stuck on a boat, but I'm getting a lot of people saying how much they enjoy them, so might have to try one. Cool. All right. Here is our hipster gnome. Definitely. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need one of those after this year, so maybe this fall take a cruise. I want to take an Alaskan cruise, but that's time-wise not in the books for some time. All right, let's see. Tattoos, of course. Yeah, I think we can ink this one up. Where are we? 18 minutes in. Good start. Ink it up, and then maybe we'll flip the cards over and do the opposite. All right. Let's see. Two. I should probably be on the right layer. That might help. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I have always wanted to do one, but my goal is to drive from Reno to Canada or to Alaska through Canada to do the Alaskan cruise, and then coming back and doing another cross country from Alaska to New Hampshire, where my family lives, seeing them and just driving through Canada with my van. But the whole thing would take a few months. So with the new job, I don't think they're going to like that much if I decided to do a big multi-month tour of the countries. So Gonna have to wait a couple years on that adventure. Do-do-do. Boop. All right. I don't want him angry. I just want him. Yeah, that's a bonus right now with all the trouble with flights. Like, it's not really funny, but man, I have to fly to New Hampshire in June for a family thing, and I do not really look forward to flying. Okay, let's see. Here. Here. If anybody's wondering why I'm being so loose with these lines, it is because in Clip Studio, I am using vector lines, and with the vector eraser, I can just erase the intersections, which makes inking so much easier. Yeah, the expense of it is pretty horrific lately on everything. So, and with the Cheeto in charge, I don't think prices are going to drop. Shockingly enough. Oh, it's definitely a world. Skinny jeans. Yeah. That a bit. Boots. Yeah. Chris, I have to ask you while you're on. I've had this conversation with a couple of people. I think, if I'm correct, and you can, where we met digitally was when I was working on David Reddick's Legend of Bill doing Barwinch Tales. I think that I'm correct in saying that, but I would be curious if I'm wrong. Yeah. Let's see. Those fingers. That. That one. Or that one. Cool. All right. It's been years. It's funny how time flies. I have all these friends in the internet. I've never met them. I would love to do a giant internet friends meetup. Yeah. Yeah, it's been ages. It's been awesome. Yeah. Just cleaning some of this up. before I forget. And let's see, 25 minutes in. We're right on time to ink this up and try another one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, one of the um, people I went out of my way when I was driving across country in 2020, um, I contacted another Indiana um, connection, was D. Parsons, um, and made a point, met with uh, him and Glenn. I'm going to forget Glenn's name. Glenn worked for Pause, the Garfield company, with David Reddick. And Dee, of course, is just the sweetest person on the internet. So I got to meet them in person. Um, and that was awesome. And every time I take one of those trips, I try to reach out to see who I can touch base with that I've never actually met. But it's been a minute since I've taken a big trip. All right. There's my very quick Noom. Yeah, there's just so many people over the last 20 years through Facebook, especially who've, yeah, stuck with me and my art. And yeah, you're one of them. It's always been positive and awesome. And Dee Dee, who's always been so great. Um, I'd love to meet. I still working with David for years. Um, um, have never met him in person, and yeah, Jeff Hasing, like, um, yeah, I'd love to visit him, and glad that he's doing okay at the moment. Um, I got to do some fill-in covers on a magazine for him during one of his health scares. It was kind of an honor to pick up um, and do some work for him. Just such a positive, awesome dude. Hate to see people going through it health wise. Oh, yeah, those are skinny jeans. That makes me happy. All right, couple of fake tattoos here, and we will move on to our next character. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy watching so many young, um, 'cause Jeff is not not old at all, but just seeing all these like people with strokes and yeah, makes you want to do your best to do the right things health wise. So yeah, continue to do this. Yeah, getting old has not been fun. Health wise, I've been lucky. Physically, I've wrecked my body over the years, but that's my own fault. So not going to complain about that. I'm just very fortunate health wise for the most part. So I feel that. Cool. Yeah, I feel like this is a strong candidate for the name Brad. All right. Oh, I should probably save this. Let's see. What did I say this one was? Skinny gnome. Wearing glasses. I can spell. All right. So this one is about done. Oops. I don't. Cool. All right. We will move this character off to the side. And we will do another sketch layer. Let's see what the opposite sides of the card are tonight. Yeah, Clip Studio, I switched. I have not used Photoshop to draw probably in 7 years now. Only recently started using Photoshop full time with my job when I took a full time job at a gaming studio this year. But sketching and painting is still 100% Clip Studio. It's just the drawing engine is the best, even over Procreate. And it just never crashes. I think in 7 years I've gotten this program to crash maybe twice. So yeah, love it. Okay, so let's flip the cards over. Broken Heart, B with claws. All right. So this should be interesting. I don't think I've ever drawn a broken-hearted bee. And the 2 seconds that I grabbed the... oh, there it is. Wow. My stylus ran away from me. All right. So, first one was our skinny gnome wearing glasses. Next is a broken heart. Let's write this down so I don't forget. Broken heart. Broken heart B. Claws. Thanks for stopping in, Chris. I appreciate it. I hope the rest of your evening is awesome and enjoy that cruise. Cool. Talk to you soon, my friend. Cool. All right. So, anyone is wondering where I get these awesome ideas? It's not my brain. And again, not getting paid for this. Chaotic Draw Along prompt cards is amazing. So the next one is going to be our broken-hearted bee with claws. Not sure why claws, but that's the card. We'll have to figure it out. Back to pencil tool. All right. Pencil tool. All right, so let's see. My bee is going to be brokenhearted. It's going to be sad, slumped over. Everything's going to be droopy. So the shape language is droopy. All going down. Boo-hoo. Let's see. I'll draw our eyes up here. And again, him the sad look. I don't think I've ever drawn a cartoon bee. We might have to pull up some reference on this one. Even stingers down. Let's see. Not quite sure how we're going to incorporate claws. So I think our bee is going to be reading a breakup note. Let's see. And then again, all of the legs are going to be droopy like that. All right. I want to look up some reference on bees. All right. Cool. That will work. That will work. Cool. All right. Back to it. Make a little nose there. I'll give him that. Again, keeping with the droopiness of the lines, we want a really soft looking character here. That. And let's see, do we go totally Honey Nut Bee Cheerios character here? And then just really make him droopy like this. Cool. Not 100% bee anatomy perfect, but let's see. Does anybody actually draw a bee with 6 legs? Stingers even pointing down. Yeah, the claws part is gonna befuddling me. Maybe it won't be. We'll break with stereotypes here, and we won't make them heartbroken be over a partner breaking up. I think we will do the very cartoony honey shortage. We'll give the legs a bit more girth. Alright. I am blanking on the third prompt for how to incorporate claws. Let's see. I feel like his head needs to be a bit shorter. Very droopy antenna, very, very sad. about the honey shortage, broken-hearted. Little tiny wings. Boom. That's not too bad. Flying over some grass. We could definitely have a cat while he's distracted in the back. So let's get rid of that for a minute. Go here. And let's see. Oops. Use the wrong tool. Let's see. And we'll have the cat over here. Big and in charge here. Sneaking up on our poor heartbroken bee. And the claws. Like that. Yeah. That. Unsuspecting bee. Do. Back click here. Do. That would be down like this. No, I don't like that. And that. Okay. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Where is that clog? Yeah. Do. Do. And again, if anybody's watched me draw, sound effects are key. Alright, let's check other messages here. See if we have any. Got about 15 more minutes for this one. Alright, let's see. Cool. Alright. Alright. Not sure I'm a big fan of the cat there, so let's do a quick thumbnail of how we can do cartoon cat. Make it much bigger. So if that's our B, cat. Don't like that. This is part of my process is just getting the composition right. So I do feel like I was on something with this pose. Need to draw through this, and then paw here, and claws here. Really not going to see much of that foot or that one. Okay. Alright, that's a little better. Alright, so let's tighten up stage 2, or broken-hearted bee, and claws. Boop, boop. New layer. Thank you. Give our cat a bit more love here. He is very happy he has stumbled upon a very distracted broken-hearted bee. Do, do. Bum, bum. And in there. Cool. Alright. So now, if we have our shoulder of the cat here, kind of trying to channel a little bit of Tom and Jerry here. This is the front of the cat. Down. There's the cat butt. The shoulders up here. I'm not going to really show that. Ew. Cool. Cat's twisting like that. Big old fat fun tail. Let's see. Could actually. This way, right? This is the front. Here. Trying to keep my lines nice and fluid in this stage. Other foot is way back there. Cool. Again, I think last time I was on, I was talking about how so many people don't like drawing horses because they're not easy. And my kryptonite is drawing cats. So let's do this. Paw. Claws. I'm trying to do this with as little reference and forethought. Just kind of these fun drawing prompts. Do it quickly and not a huge fan of that, but go with it for now. And this foot can go that one, stretching this way. This arm. Oh, I wonder if I could do this. Maybe. Oh, he's about to catch him, yeah. More claws. There we go. That's better. That foot bugging me a bit, but that. Cool. And we can probably change that a bit now. Let's see, about 10 more minutes. Cool. I think keep that. Do you like that? Yeah. There's our claws. That. Clause 2 turned in for me. There we go. That's better. Way too much on the cat, but oh well. It's my drawing show. I'll do what I want. One, two, three. Cool. All right. We will turn. Let's see. Let's do that for a second. I want to. I got a little bit sketchy with this one. Do. There we go. This way I can just see the bee. Boop. All right, back to. Oh, that's even more sad. That's even. All right, I'm going to change the heartbroken message a bit. I wanted to go use the honey as like a newspaper thing, but I have a better idea. I hope you all agree. Sad antenna. So sad. What could be breaking this poor bee's heart so much? And I think I figured it out. There's that arm. His honey is all gone. All gone. That's why our bee is so heartbroken. And again, all the shape language is droopy and down. Even his poor little stinger, tiny little wings, buzzing away. Tear. Do. Do. All right. That's a much better idea. Empty jar of honey. Do. Give balls at the end of the antenna. Boo, boo, boo. Tears. Poor thing. All right, we'll wrap this up in a second. We've got our hour in for our drawing prompts. I will recap in a minute in case you missed it. Wah wah. Do, do, do. Like his legs. So weird. Oh, I messed up the. You don't have to be that anatomically correct. It might be this. There we go. Do, do. I feel like his face needs to be slightly bigger. Like that. Cool. Alright, so there's that. You should go small to big on this, I think. A little bit bigger here. Like that. Boop. Do. And let's bring back our cat. Quick cat here. Let's change his tail up. That. If so, spotlight would be down here. That. Cool. And Boo. All right. I think that is good for a cool down night sketch. So let's do this. I want. No, that's why. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Let's add some white so we can separate the bee and the cat. Cool. So there is 2 sketches in an hour with our prompts. This one was our broken-hearted bee, and claws was the other prompt, so I added a cat. Oops. Let's claws here, claws there. And our first prompt was, let's go back to our first prompt, where we had our skinny gnome. Oh, did I totally? Our skinny gnome, and I forgot one of the most important parts. Our third prompt was wearing glasses. So we'll do that real quick. Very. I definitely made a hipster gnome wearing skinny jeans, so there is that. And we will call that an evening for these. So again, thank you again. Wow. For joining me. So we've got our skinny gnome wearing glasses and our our heartbroken bee claws. So again, thank you for indulging me and watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for the next one, please let me know. DM me or send me a message any way you can. Hello, Evie. How are you? Sorry, I just saw these messages. How are you, my dear? So I've got my broken-hearted bee with claws and my skinny gnome. So that is it this evening. I will talk to you all next time. Maybe I'll even announce it first instead of just jumping on. You all have a good night, and we will talk to you all very soon. Have a good night.